to its fizz. First aid for the relief of headache, Alka-Seltzer. For acid indigestion, Alka-Seltzer. For cold discomfort, Alka-Seltzer. Alka-Seltzer presents the Quiz Kid with the chief quizzer himself, Joe Kelly.
Thank you, Franklin Ferguson. Hello, folks. How are you? Well, we're very happy to welcome you to the Quiz Kids television classroom, and a great big special welcome to all of you folks watching on WSAZ TV in Huntington, West Virginia. Tonight we have a very distinguished guest with us. That's right. The famous hypnotist, memory expert, and mind reader, none other than Dr. Franz Polgar. Now, a little bit later on in the program, we're going to ask Dr. Polgar to give us a sample of his amazing powers, and that means that he's going to try and hypnotize the quiz kids. So we shall see what we shall see a little bit later on. In the meantime, I think we'd better get started with roll call because, kids, you have a full evening of school ahead of you. So let's get right into our very first question here. My assistant, Charmaine, has a balance scale, as you see here, and 9 dominoes. Now, 8 of the dominoes are the same weight, but one is a little heavier than any of the others. And Mrs. Alice Anderson of Detroit, Michigan wonders whether any of you children can determine which domino is the heavy one by using the scales only twice. Now, if any of you think you can do it, we'll let you come down and try as soon as we've had roll call. So here we go. First, we'll start off with Lonnie.
I'm Lonnie Lundy. I'm 14 years old, and I'm a sophomore at Maine Township High School in Park Ridge, Illinois.
Next, Sally Ann.
I'm Sally Ann Wilhelm. I'm 11 years old. I'm in the 7th grade at Central Junior High School in Elkhart, Indiana.
Joel.
I'm Joel Kupperman. I'm 14 years old, and I'm a junior at Roosevelt High School.
Melvin.
I'm Melvin Miles. I'm 7 years old, and I go to North Park School, Chicago, Illinois.
And the brand new quiz kid, Kathleen.
I'm Kathleen Rhodes, 11 years old, and I go to 7th grade at McClure School, Western Springs, Illinois.
Now then, do I have any volunteers to come down and figure out which domino is the heavy one? Joel, step right down, son. That's the ticket. Would you stand in back of the scale, Joel? Come around back, right next to Charmaine.
As the first operation, I guess I'd weigh 3 of them against 3 of the others.
Well, let's find out.
Mm-hmm. One of them is heavier. Yeah, one of them heavier.
One is heavier. That's what I said, yes.
That means that one of these 3 dominoes is it. And that's the first operation.
That's the first. You had the
and
first
either way, I suppose you get eliminated down to 3 dominoes, and then you just weigh one of these against another. And see, one's heavy again. Well, I guess so that means that this would have been heavier. But if neither of them had been heavier, if they just balanced, then this one would have been the heavy one by the process of elimination. But as it is, this one is.
That's absolutely right. Nice going, Joel. And you may return to your desk now. Well, now, Mrs. Emily Staffer of Chicago hopes to stump the quiz kids with her question. And that's the way it works, friends. If you send in a question that the quiz kids cannot answer, why, you will receive a Zenith television set. And so let's see about Mrs. Staffer's question. She says that Hopalong Cassidy and the Lone Ranger are pretty well known in the TV world, but she wonders if you kids can tell her who in the animal world might be known by these titles. Who would you say? Lonnie?
Well, Hopalong Cassidy might be the kangaroo.
The kangaroo, that's very good. Now, I noticed Melvin had his hand up. What were you going to say, Melvin?
Well, I believe the fox would be the Lone Ranger because he always travels himself alone.
That's right. The fox would be the Lone Ranger.
That is when he hunts. He never comes in packs.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, very good, kids. Now, Mrs. Margaret Sullivan of Detroit, Michigan wants you to make triplets out of this pair. These men are in sports, Bobby and Stan. All right, Sally Ann?
Well, isn't there...
Bobby and Stan. We've got...
Wasn't that in baseball? Stan
yes,
Musial.
in baseball. So, what did you say, Stan who?
Musial.
Musial, that's one. And Bobby, what's Bobby's last name?
I don't know.
Joel.
Well, if you want 3 Bobs and 3 Stans?
No, not necessarily.
Well, Bob could be Bob Lemon or Bob Feller.
Well, that's very, very good. I'm thinking of somebody else, though. Very good hitter, by the way. Joel?
Well, I imagine that'd be the bat leader in the American League.
So?
But I don't know whether his nickname's Bobby, but it'd be Billy Goodman.
Goodman, that's the one. And, of course, now we've got to make triplets out of the pair, as I told you. We must have another name now, right along with those other 2 fellows, Stan and Bobby. Joel?
Well, maybe the leader in the Pacific Coast League, Frankie Baumholz.
Well, that's very good. I'm thinking of another in Major League, though.
Well, leading batsman, there's only 2 leagues.
Well, there might be somebody fairly close to these other 2 boys. Lonnie?
Well, there's Jackie Robinson, maybe at Brooklyn.
Well, that's a very good answer. Joel?
Oh, George Kell of Detroit.
That's the chap I was thinking of, George Kell, 3rd leading hitter. Well, that was fine. Now, in the diplomatic or political field, we must make triplets out of this pair. Ernest and Dean. Ernest and Dean. Sally Ann?
Well, there's, is that the first name?
First names I'm giving you.
I was
Ernest
thinking
and
of a
Dean.
last name.
Lonnie?
Well, the Dean would be Atchison,
Dean Atchison and
but I'm not sure about the Ernest.
Ernest? Joel?
That'd be Ernest Bevan.
Bevan of
Third
England.
would be Schumann.
Schumann of France, that's right. Very, very good. Well, can you tell me what occasion is making these 3 an even dozen today? An even dozen today. What occasion? Joel?
Well, from the Big 3 meeting, they're going into the meeting of the Atlantic Pact Nations, which has 12 members.
That's right, all 12 of them are meeting. Very good. Now, Mr. William Crayford of Detroit, Michigan wants you to pretend you're in South America taking a flying trip. Now, if you flew from the capital of Colombia to the capital of Peru, what country would you fly over? Lonnie?
You'd fly from Bogota to Lima, and that would cross over Ecuador.
That's right, Ecuador. And what if you flew from the capital of Chile to the capital of Uruguay? What country would you fly over? Sally Ann?
We'd fly over Chile. I mean, Argentina.
Argentina, that's right. That's very, very good, Sally Ann. And now, let's go visit some friends of mine.
Oh, gee, I'm tired. I don't know, Grace. I guess I just can't take these late hours anymore.
Well, I feel the same way tonight. The party wore me out, and so much to eat and drink. We'll probably both feel terrible in the morning.
Not me. I'm going to take some Alka-Seltzer. You better have a glass, too.
Oh, I'm too tired to fix it. I'll take some in the morning.
Oh, take it tonight. I'll fix it for you.
Well, don't bother. Doesn't make that much difference.
Oh, yes, it does. Now, look, it makes sense. If you settle your stomach now, you get a better night's sleep, so you can't help waking up feeling better in the morning. You just let me fix you an Alka-Seltzer. Try it. See if you don't wake up feeling better.
Yes, folks, it's a fact. Whenever you stay out too late, have too much rich food and drink, and acid indigestion threatens, you can feel better next morning if you take Alka-Seltzer before you go to bed. A glass of sparkling Alka-Seltzer can relieve your dull, achy head. It can soothe and settle your jittery, acid-upset stomach. You'll sleep better, get up feeling better next morning, thanks to Alka-Seltzer before you go to bed.